Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Hot Toys 6-scale figure of Marty McFly from Back to the Future Part 3. This is going to be a pretty quick review of the figure, just a quick look at the figure and the accessories. So if you want like a more detailed review, you might want to look elsewhere. This is how the figure looks right out of the box, and I'm pretty happy with it. It comes with some other things that you can add to it, which I will be adding to the figure, but I just wanted to mention that the shoes have some nice details on them in that there's a little bit like tan paint to the tips and the edges as if he's been hanging out in some sand. Same thing with the pants. They look a little bit darker up at the top and a little bit lighter towards the bottom. That's a nice detail. The tailoring on the suit coat looks pretty good. Nice big buttons. The pattern on his shirt looks nice and accurate to what he wears in the movie. Here's like a wider shot of the cut of his jacket. Nicely done, I think. Really, really basic. Nothing wrong with basic. It's what he's wearing. I gotta say though, when I was looking at photos, like the final blogger photos that Hot Toys posted of the Marty figure, I looked at the head and I thought, who's that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be Michael J. Fox? But having this in person, it reads much better in person than it did in those final photos. I like the hair along the forehead. Even if it's not the most amazing likeness in the world, I do think it has a nice skin-like skin texture to it. The final blogger photos, red plasticky. This reads a little bit more like skin, especially in the lips, glassy eyeballs, but the skin shading all looks really, really nice. A little nitpick, the hat is attached. There isn't like a second hatless head, or like, you know, that you could attach the hat onto as an accessory. It'd be nice if, you know, the figure came with maybe two heads, one without the hat. Although, let's be honest, if you're getting this figure, 99% of you would be displaying him with the hat on, right? Alright, here are all the accessories that it comes with, starting with this pair of fist hands, and then we've got this other pair of grip hands, and then we get an open-palmed, kind of half about ready to grip the gun, like gunslinger pose. Quick draw, that's the thing I was thinking of, and then also a gun-holding trigger finger hand. We also get the little pie tin plate that he gets and throws. We have this gun, which does have a revolving part of the revolver. It also has this little like a little thingy that like flicks out. If any old-timey gun experts know what that is, it does that. The metal chest plate from the little stove, the little oven, really, really important accessory to include. We also get a little pair of wrist pegs. We get the little gun belt and holster, which I will be putting on later. We've got the hoverboard. Nice important accessory to include, since, you know, it is Mattel in the movie, and this is not a Mattel toy. It does not say Mattel on it. Last few things that we have include this radio with the little mega battery on it, and it does have a little retractable antenna. That is nice. Speaking of nice, we get the little portrait in here, or not portrait, but the photo of the tombstone, Doc's tombstone, as I fumble around here. Really, really little, but really nice that they included it. But what's also nice that they included is that this does open up. I might have to, if I just want to slide this off, yeah, I'm going to slide that off. But what is included here is pretty sweet. We get a little photo of Doc and Marty with the clock, and that is such a nice inclusion to me. I think this is probably the coolest accessory in here. Other accessories worth pointing out. Here's a look at the base. Really, really cool artwork to use for this base. Instead of just black, this is the little C-clamp that I'm going to plug onto it later. Lastly, and this is what we're going to be about to put on in a moment here, the bandana and his poncho, which has little magnetic elements in it so you can get it to kind of lay and fold on him just right. So in order to get him all ready for his gunslinger look, you have to pop off the head and take off the jacket so you could put on the poncho and other stuff. But I just want to show you guys a closer look at the belt, because I think I thought it was going to be more difficult to put on, but it was actually pretty easy. Even just, you know, tying it up in the back was pretty simple. Also worth noting that inside the actual like holster, there is this little loop that loops over the like the hammer of the gun, which I think is a nice little detail to include. Now, of course, I need to include his 1885 bulletproof vest, and I'm going to attach the little handkerchief around his neck. Then the poncho goes over like so, and we'll adjust all that in a moment. But then I just want to put the head on. Also, I got to show you guys that there are these little magnetic pieces inside the poncho that get it to fold exactly where it needs to under the arm. This pinchy spot in the back right there. And then there's this little pinch right here. It's a nice touch. So back pinch, under the arm. And then lastly, you know, the front one. And that's how we get them to... oh, there goes his hand. To get him in his little, like, gunslinger pose. I mean, I'm kind of fumbling around here a bit, but, you know, you get the idea. So at first I was pretty stoked about this figure stand, mostly just because it came with one. See, Part 1 and 2 Doc came with a standard figure stand. Part 1 Marty, standard figure stand. Part 2 Marty, though, came with this massive base that was supposed to be like part of like the little fountainy lake outside of the courthouse, and it took up way too much space. It was cool that you could kind of pose him, you know, floating on his hoverboard, but I just wanted like a regular ass stand, and I'm glad that he comes with a regular ass stand again. A little more deluxe than usual with the artwork. However, it's this dumb little C-clamp that goes around his waist, which you'd have to feed under his poncho because it can't go over. But one, I don't want it to mess with his belt. And two, it's so little. Like, even when you raise it and expand it a bit, like, I don't want it to pinch on the fabric. I really wanted, like, you know, just like that standard, like, under the gooch ball hugger. This is like, look at these pants. This is perfect for just a standard under the nuts, you know, cupping figure stand. So kind of disappointed by that. But not disappointed by this figure. In fact, I gotta say, I think it turned out better than I was expecting. Because, let's be honest, we all know that, like, Hot Toys, as much as I love them, kind of shit the bed with the Doc Brown from both Part 2 and Part 1 just because of the mediocre head sculpt. And I think this Marty, I was expecting not as good of a job. It's... okay, let me rephrase this, alright? I was expecting worse. I got better than I was expecting. Now that I've used that as a baseline, could this look a little bit more like Michael J. Fox? Sure. But the accessories on this, the poncho alone looks fantastic. And the fact that he comes with the you know, the little bulletproof oven piece is you know, a nice inclusion. I think he's going to look great once I get Doc. This is going to be the way I display him. I think it's cool he comes with the suit coat. It's just, you know, kind of boring. However, if they ever made like that clock, the face of the clock tower, yeah, I'd probably display this with Doc that way. But the poncho is so dynamic. It's so classic. I'm pretty stoked about this figure. So yeah, consider me pleasantly surprised. I think it's got a great silhouette. The hat looks great. I'm going to futz around with this handkerchief a little bit after the review and just try to get it to not be so puffy. I've seen it actually look puffier in some photos, so all things considered, I'm pretty happy with this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this figure, and if you want to be up to date with all my latest reviews, be sure to click subscribe.